Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com. If you need a little cleaning inspiration for your craft studio, you're in the right place. It has been a busy week after a busy weekend, and my craft room has literal trash on the floor. There is a ton of new product out that needs to get put away, mixed in with product that I used for some different videos. The craft room is a little bit, it's not out of control. It's not too bad, but the problem is that this is also my guest room, and I happen to have guests coming tomorrow. So it's time to kind of go through this stuff, get the craft room cleaned up, get it ready to go for guests. And I thought I would bring you guys along because I know watching these videos always inspires me to get my space cleaned up. So I am going to put you guys on fast forward. Let's clean up this space. First task is always to just start clearing off countertops, and the hardest thing for me is to make sure that I'm actually putting things away and not just shifting things around. So I don't leave a countertop until it has been completely cleared, and then I don't add more things to an already cleared countertop. That just helps me stay in order and find things that I need to put away. So for instance, here's a bunch of receipts, gotta go store those away, and I have not one, not two, not three, but 4 different drinks hanging out in my craft studio. Please tell me that I'm not the only one. I recently got several new pins from my sister and one of my friends for my birthday, and I thought it would be so fun to put them onto my planner cover. Currently, I am using this cover from Erin Condren. I think they actually do not make these anymore, which makes me really sad because I thought they were absolutely beautiful. And I think it's fun to put the pins on the front just as a little extra decorative feature. Because I do Frankenplanning, that means every month I have to take apart my planner from the previous month and redistribute those pages to the planner it belongs in. It's a little bit of a tedious task to make sure everything gets back to where it is supposed to go, but I love the concept of Frankenplanning so much that I don't mind it. I just clean out each section one by one. I pull out all my dashboards, break apart the planner, and put things back where I got them from. And then at the end of the year, I will have all of these complete planners to look through, and each month I have a very functional Frankenplanner that I can work with. my main craft desk was still set up with my flat lay from the last video I had done. So this is actually the perspective that you all don't get to see very often. This is what it looks like with my desk. I use a white poster board. I change out the poster boards for when I am doing flat lays. I have a lot of equipment that I pack up, including a microphone and lights and things like that. So it feels good to get it all out of the way. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable working in there, but of course I have to set it up again when it's time to record. Yep, this is me still sorting through planner bits and pieces from the past month. I love that all my planner supplies are organized so I know exactly where everything is going to go, and it helps me keep track of things. That way when I'm setting up a planner for a new month, I can always find what I'm looking for. So I take off the discs, I sort out the filler paper, I put everything back where it belongs. That way it's just easier to find. I know in the short term it's easy to just stick things in places wherever they fit, or I could have kept all of these monthly planners together, but I like taking them apart and then sorting through so I can find what I am looking for. And it just makes it a lot easier in the long run, but yeah, a little tedious in the short run. This is most definitely the space that felt very out of control. I recently went to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo at the Chantilly Expo Center and had a great time shopping lots of small businesses and looking at lots of paper brands that I hadn't been able to look at in person. And I definitely splurged. I bought plenty. I have a couple haul videos that are either up or coming soon with all of the goodies that I bought, but that meant there was a lot to sort through and a lot to get in its place. I'm still looking, I'm still waiting for some plastic sleeves. I organize all of my 12 by 12 paper in paper collections in 12 by 12 plastic storage sleeves that are nice and sturdy, keeps them really crisp and doesn't let them bend, but I ran out of them, so I had to order a few more from Amazon. So waiting to pick those up, but still have to sort through the rest of these supplies as much as possible. I like to take things out of their original packaging. It just is, it stores nicer. It's easier to get to the tools when you're ready to use them. So you'll see me kind of take a few things out here and there. And then I had some new categories of supplies, some things I had wanted to try. I had a little trouble figuring out where everything would go, but I did take the time to find a place for everything where I would be able to find it again. And I think that's the most important part. When we just start sticking things in random places, you're not going to be able to find that supply, that tool, that item again. And that can be really frustrating because you want to play with your new supplies. Stencils are an easy one for me though. I have all of my stencils hanging vertically on a wall in my craft room. It makes it really easy to access the stencils and to see what I have. So I'm just going to take these out of their package and hang them up on the wall so I can grab them for future use. There was so much sorting that had to get done. And my question for you is, when you have scraps from a particular paper collection, do you keep the scraps with that collection or do you sort them into a different place? For the most part, I keep them with the collection as long as I'm keeping the collection together. When the collection starts dwindling, when it starts becoming more scraps than actual full papers, that's when I start to break it up into different categories and put scraps in one place and full papers in the other and break apart ephemera, things like that. But I like to keep it by collection for a while as I'm working with that collection, and then I break it up later on. But I would love to hear what your system is as you start to work with a paper collection. How do you decide when it's time to kind of break up the band? There was so much sorting to go through. I had already used some of these collections before I filed them away. It was a lot to go through, and look at all of that trash. I wish as paper crafters we could come up with a better system, and that paper crafting companies could come up with a better system than having all of that plastic waste at the end. When you're going through your products, there's just so much and it can be really overwhelming, and it's a lot to add. All right, last few steps. This is the easy part of the craft room, just a little bit of straightening up, a few extra pieces that are out here and there, and then we are going to wrap up this clean craft room. Are looking so much better. I have some plastic sleeves coming tomorrow to store some new paper collections in, so those are just organized right there. But otherwise, a clean countertop is awesome and it's ready to go. I'll be able to transform this into a guest room pretty easily. And I hope that coming along and cleaning with me inspired you to get your space cleaned up. It always feels so good to get things cleaned up before a weekend, to get your space ready to create. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for all of your support. If you want to find out more about Patreon, the perks you can receive, and the awesome community that is hanging out over there, then make sure to check out the link in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.